How you feeling, Paddy?
Feel amazing. I do. I've never felt this good going into a fight, and it's gonna be a spectacular night come Saturday night.
I thought you were gonna say there's no maybe, Bisping. This is done. This is written in the stars.
It's happening. So I've already visualised it all. I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be leaving the arena with
Paddy the Baddy being the favorite. I'm well aware that Paddy the Baddy can beat Justin Gaethje, but certainly you must be well aware that Justin Gaethje can beat Paddy the Baddy. Because 2-1 doesn't sound that way. Even money sounds that way.
Win, I'll say Paddy Pimblett for the win. But I'm going to leave you with this. Remember, going in for yourselves, remember, gamble responsibly if you're going to. Remember, I'm not sure if he can do that for the 5 rounds. Does Gaethje's got having Whitman in his corner. He's got a good team. He knows how to set up some things.
Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett has detonated a storm of opinion, with UFC insiders already circling the matchup like sharks sensing blood. Paddy's fearless confidence and eagerness to charge forward collide with Gaethje's suffocating pressure and bone-rattling striking. Predictions are pouring in non-stop, but none feel settled. This fight hangs like a fork in the road, one moment capable of reshaping both careers, and no one truly knows who walks out changed until it explodes.
Gaethje get it done. I'd love to see Justin Gaethje with the belt. He deserves it. Orthodox boxer, it's definitely possible. I'm still sitting with my percentages here. I'm still sitting with, I think, about 40% towards Justin Gaethje, about 60%.
Dana White sees a pattern forming around Paddy Pimblett that's impossible to ignore once you notice it, and it keeps repeating for a reason. He points to the same volatile blend of charisma, swagger, and outside skepticism that always seems to trail Paddy into fight week. A crowd magnet and critic target at the same time, Pimblett routinely walks in dismissed, doubted, and framed as the underdog, only to flip the script when it matters. According to Dana, it's a familiar rise, one that echoes an early Conor McGregor, underestimated, questioned, and steadily turning disbelief into momentum that no one can quite stop.
Are you surprised that Paddy is at this level? We knew he was a fan favorite, the fans loved him, all that, but did you think that he was a championship level fighter, or did something change?
He reminds me of the Conor McGregor story, because came in with this great personality. They talk and they were always overlooked. Every time they fought, everybody believed that they were going to lose. I mean, Paddy has been that guy more so than Conor McGregor. And obviously this is a huge test for him. And Gaethje's been wanting a shot at the title again, so
now he's got it.
Here we go.
Right. Yeah, I think it was after the Chandler fight that I said, God damn, this guy is the real deal. He's not with Paddy. Obviously they both fought
every time
Chandler.
he fights, he's the underdog and people think he's going to lose.
Michael Bisping zoomed in on the stakes and made them feel heavier than the gloves themselves, because this fight isn't just about pride. If Gaethje wins, history tilts. He becomes the first fighter ever to hold 2 interim titles, a strange milestone that forces the UFC to rewrite its own record books. But if Paddy pulls it off, the chaos deepens. Another interim belt gets tossed into an already tangled lightweight picture, adding confusion instead of clarity. And as Bisping pointed out, this isn't an isolated mess. The interim title fever has been spreading, bleeding across divisions, especially after the recent madness at heavyweight. What's supposed to be temporary now feels permanent, and this fight might decide whether that problem explodes or finally gets addressed.
If Justin Gaethje wins this weekend, he will be the first ever 2-time interim UFC champion. If Paddy wins, he will be the 4th interim champion in the lightweight division, which is absolutely insane. 4 interim champs in one division. But interim titles, obviously, they're not just exclusive to the lightweight division. We all know what happened.
Chael Sonnen framed this matchup as a pressure point where everything bends, a true hinge moment with no soft landing for either man. If Paddy keeps winning, the road hardens fast, elite names like Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan waiting ahead, with only the order left unresolved, not the inevitability. But Sonnen pushed the darker angle too, the one people hesitate to say out loud. A loss for Gaethje doesn't just bruise momentum, it detonates an uncomfortable question about what comes next. For years, Gaethje has been clear to the point of defiance. This fight wasn't about names or hype, it was about leverage, title shot or nothing. No detours, no rebuild arcs, no chasing relevance elsewhere. Win and the door to gold stays cracked open through killers like Topuria or Tsarukyan. Lose and the conversation shifts instantly, quietly but permanently toward whether he even fights again. Gaethje himself said it before anyone else could. Championship opportunity or retirement. Not a threat, not drama, a line in the sand. That kind of honesty usually irritates fans, but this time it landed differently. It felt final. Paddy's rise promises chaos at the top. Gaethje's stance promises consequence. And that's what makes this fight hum. One man fighting toward everything, the other fighting against the end.
Right, I mean, this could turn into Paddy the Baddy versus Sarukian. Could turn into Paddy the Baddy versus Sarukian, and then Paddy the Baddy versus Ilia Topuria. If Paddy keeps winning, it is more likely than not to be both of those guys. The only thing that we're going to fight over is the order. Meanwhile, if Justin Gaethje gets beat, is he going to fight again? That's an interesting question, too, that nobody's talking about. Justin Gaethje said before this fight, give me this fight. And by this fight, all he was talking about was the title. Justin Gaethje, I don't think had his sights set on Paddy the Baddy, but it didn't matter. I think his sights were set on Ilia Topuria, understanding that could turn into Arman Sarukian. But Justin Gaethje was very vocal to say, give me a title fight or give me my walking papers. Let me go. I'm not going to go fight somewhere else. I'm just not going to fight. World title fight or nobody. Justin Gaethje was very open to say this. Generally, that would bother us, the audience, but
On the other hand, Tim Welch peeled back the layers and pointed straight at where this fight can turn lethal in seconds. Both men know the math. One clean left hook or right hand can erase a game plan instantly. Welch zeroed in on Paddy's forward surges, those aggressive blitzes where momentum builds and his chin subtly lifts at the worst possible moment. It's a risky doorway, hard to exploit, but unmistakably there. And Welch made the quiet warning clear. If anyone has the patience to wait, set their feet, and fire a perfectly timed counter into that opening, it's Justin Gaethje, especially with Trevor Whitman watching every step from his corner.
Paddy Pimblett was talking about, I know his only way to beat me is to hit me with a left hook and hit me with a right hand.
The only way I can see me getting beat is a big right hand or left hook catching me clean. But Scousers don't get knocked out, lads, so that's not going to be happening, is it?
So they're aware of that. When Paddy Pimblett sprints forward in his blitzes, his chin is above the shoulders. He's sprinting forward. Easier said than done. Sitting back with a left hook or planting and throw a right hand. If anyone's going to counterpunch and crack Paddy Pimblett on his Scouser jaw, it's going to be Justin Gaethje. If anyone can do it. Trained by the great...
He doubled down on that warning, stressing that this matchup feels almost engineered to spiral into a brutal, exhausting war. If the bout stays upright and Paddy chooses to trade in the pocket with Gaethje, the danger doesn't just rise, it compounds with every exchange. Each punch thrown, each second spent standing toe-to-toe, quietly increases the odds of something catastrophic landing. A drawn-out striking battle doesn't favor chaos evenly, it slowly tilts the board toward Gaethje, creating tiny gaps where one perfectly timed shot can change everything. It's a narrow path and a difficult one to execute, but in Welch's view, this is the clearest and most dangerous route for Gaethje to impose his will and end the night suddenly.
They can do a dogfight, and this Paddy Pimblett fight's going to turn into a dogfight. I know it is. The longer it's on the feet, the longer Paddy Pimblett's sitting in the pocket, trading with Justin Gaethje, the chances open up for him. The chances open up for him to chin Paddy Pimblett.
Alexander Volkanovski closed his breakdown with a firm, unapologetic pick for Paddy Pimblett, pointing to Paddy's habit of shattering expectations and quietly executing disciplined game plans when the pressure is highest.
This one. Now, fan of both guys. I've bet against, not bet against, I've picked against Paddy Pimblett a few times, right? I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop doing that, and not only because he's proved me wrong so many times, but in his last couple of fights, I've seen great strategy, footwork, distance management, good understanding of danger, the danger threat, and having the right options or the right strategy around dealing with that. He's shown me that in his last couple of fights. So, yeah, so I think and he's going to need that. Against a Gaethje, you're going to need to be able to know how to stay out of danger, know the range, know the movement, find the right times to clinch up, find the right times to, whether land your tips, land your kicks, land your jabs.
Volkanovski envisions Paddy opening the fight with a measured, almost deceptive calm, choosing control over chaos and efficiency over spectacle. Nothing reckless, nothing wasted, just smart touches and quiet pressure designed to bank moments early. The real tension, he suggests, isn't the opening minutes but whether that discipline can survive 5 full rounds once fatigue and urgency creep in. Still, Volkanovski leans toward Paddy finding a way, edging out a decision while keeping a darker possibility alive beneath the surface. The sudden opening, the grip, the submission that flips the narrative in an instant if opportunity dares to show itself.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I'm going to go with Paddy. I'm going to go with Paddy because, like I said, I'm tired of picking against him. He's proved me wrong many times, and he's shown me he can work a game plan. I think you see what I'm saying in them earlier rounds. You'll see what I'm saying. You're going to be sort of, like, oh, he's playing safe. He's not going to do anything incredible. They're not going to be massive rounds with him, massive damage. I don't see that at all. I see just him staying safe enough and winning them rounds. But does he do that for 5 rounds? Let's see. So there's my details. I'm picking Paddy. I'm going to pick Paddy. Decision win. Maybe he gets a decision. Could get a submission. Could happen. Decision win, I'll say Paddy Pimblett.
Stephen Thompson framed it as a quiet warning rather than a compliment, noting that Justin Gaethje isn't walking into unfamiliar territory here. In his view, Gaethje has already stared down every version of the threat Paddy Pimblett represents and lived to tell the story. Thompson pointed to the receipts, wars with elite strikers like Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier, then the chaos of grappling exchanges with someone as dangerous as Charles Oliveira. The implication hangs heavy. Gaethje has solved these puzzles before, piece by violent piece, against men who specialize in exactly what Paddy does best.
I just don't see Justin Gaethje losing to him. When this fight was first announced, I was like, oh, Paddy's gonna get the takedown, Paddy's gonna do this, Paddy's gonna do that. But then I started thinking to myself, if he doesn't get the takedown, his takedown ratio, I believe, is it's less than 26% or something. So every time if he does miss a takedown, every time he misses a takedown, it's going to get more difficult for him to get one. That's one. 2 is on the feet with the pressure, it's not going to be good. Not going to be good. So I'm going to go with Justin Gaethje. I believe that Justin knows it's all or nothing right now. That maybe that puts a lot of pressure on him to perform. Maybe that puts a lot of pressure on him to win this fight. But it's no different than any other fight that Justin Gaethje's ever been part of. He's been in the top 3 rankings, I believe, or top 3 or 4 in the last 4 years, 5 years straight.
Thompson laid it out bluntly, questioning whether Paddy Pimblett can ever truly get Justin Gaethje to the canvas. Even if she does manage a takedown, he argued, Gaethje's raw strength makes returning to his feet almost inevitable. Thompson didn't stop there. He flagged Paddy's grueling weight-cutting process, warning that the energy drain would likely catch up after the first couple of rounds, giving Gaethje a critical edge as the fight drags on. Every facet of Paddy's arsenal, Thompson contends, has already been tested against previous opponents. Be it sharp strikers like Rafael Fiziev and Max Holloway or submission wizards like Charles Oliveira, Gaethje has weathered those storms. The takeaway is clear. The combination of Gaethje's prior experience and Paddy's punishing weight cuts could make the later rounds an uphill climb. And if he survives the opening exchanges unscathed, Paddy's performance might unravel just when the stakes are highest.
There's not one thing that Paddy Pimblett does that there's a guy that Justin Gaethje has fought that he hasn't done. So I mean, look, Rafael Fiziev, Max Holloway, predominantly strikers. Dustin Poirier, predominantly striker. Fiziev again, Charles Oliveira, the best jiu-jitsu guy in the sport. I mean, most people would argue it, but I believe he's got the most submissions in the sport, in UFC history. And he couldn't get it done. Or he did get it done. I was looking at it the other way around. He got it done. I just don't think that he'll be able to get, I don't think that Paddy Pimblett's going to be able to get Justin Gaethje down. If he does, I think that Gaethje will be able to survive and get himself back to his feet. Gaethje's a big boy for 155 pounds. So is Paddy, though. But where I think if Justin Gaethje can get through the first, second round, if he can survive the first, second round, I think Paddy cuts too much weight, doesn't keep his weight down in between camps. And I believe that it ends up being one of those situations where you start to see Paddy.
Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson broke it down with precision, insisting this isn't a contest of sheer power but of preparation. And in his eyes, Paddy Pimblett holds the clear advantage. Johnson pointed to Paddy's evolution in the gym, sharpened discipline, elite conditioning, and a structured game plan that relies on intelligence rather than unpredictability. Gaethje, while undeniably ferocious and one of the division's most dangerous pressure fighters, leans on relentless aggression and toughness, which can leave cracks when facing someone who is mentally meticulous and strategically sound. Johnson argues that if Paddy weathers the opening storm without panicking, maintaining composure and executing his plan, the cumulative effect of that preparation could tilt the scales. It's a fight where survival, patience, and foresight might outpace raw violence, and Johnson is confident that the fighter who shows up sharper, smarter, and more attuned to the details of the bout could walk out on top. In other words, it's not just about who hits harder, it's about who thinks harder, and Johnson believes Paddy has that edge.
Getting a lot of aches and bruises on where Paddy comes and fights, he's always fresh. When he fought Michael Chandler, when he fought Bobby Green, when he fought Tony Ferguson, he's always fresh as fuck. He's getting the work in the gym, but he's always fresh, and I think we're gonna see a fresh Paddy Pimblett go out there and just be able to take out Justin Gaethje. I just love Paddy Pimblett when he's able to, oh, mate, you're gonna push Mick's cage, hey? Boom, there's a body, there's a flying triangle. Oh, you slam me? Oh, there's an arm bar. His transitioning on his back and his grappling, what he did to Michael Chandler, was absolutely beautiful. How he submitted Bobby Green, just beautiful technique. And I think Justin Gaethje just loves to stand and be, he loves to knock people out, and he's been knocked out multiple times. And I just think if Paddy Pimblett is smart, go out there, stay outside the void, throw body kicks, move around, and just...
Kamaru Usman praised Justin Gaethje's precision and disciplined approach, challenging the perception of him as merely a wild brawler. Behind the chaos, Usman noted, lies a meticulously crafted system of combinations honed over endless hours with Trevor Whitman, a blueprint executed with razor-sharp consistency inside the cage. He then shifted to the psychological battlefield. Pimblett, fully aware of Gaethje's threat, may adopt an early caution, testing the waters, but history shows that if Gaethje doesn't assert dominance immediately, Paddy can build momentum quickly, reminiscent of his tactical surge against Michael Chandler. Usman stressed that Gaethje must blend calculation with relentless pressure from the first bell, making his presence felt without overextending. Despite the buzz surrounding the matchup, Usman confidently sides with Gaethje. Enter Henry Cejudo, who layered a cautionary note atop Usman's analysis, highlighting Paddy's tricky versatility and smooth transitions, like his triangle choke submission over Bobby Green. Cejudo acknowledged that a win would cement Gaethje's march toward elite matchups like Ilia Topuria, but a loss could reshape his trajectory entirely, potentially marking a career-defining endpoint given how explicitly Gaethje and his team framed this high-stakes period. The tension is unmistakable. Will the relentless, methodical pressure of Justin Gaethje dismantle Paddy Pimblett's craft, or will Paddy's unpredictable, cunning style carve a path to victory? Fans are left at the edge, weighing momentum, skill, and strategy as the countdown to this pivotal fight continues, where every choice, every feint, every calculated risk could decide more than a winner, it could decide legacies.